This is hilarious, or at least I think it's hilarious. Chile apparently fired the guy who did the delete laws clips today, and of course, before he fired him, he didn't take away access to things like the delete laws clips channel, which is stupid because now apparently uh, the fired gentleman has deleted all the content, and that's kind of funny as hell. And what's even funnier is that Delete Laws was apparently paying this guy under the table through like WhatsApp or something like that, some payment or some cash app, and he's going around calling this guy his employee. He fired his employee, and he has now posted a record of the payments he's made to his employee. And I'm going to guess, and you know what, you can tell me how dumb and wrong that I am. I'm going to guess that Chile never paid any of the employment taxes on that. I'm call it a hunch, but there's fucking video evidence. The guy's dumb as I have sued. I know I'm just a first year family law attorney, but I have sued employers before for wrongful employment, and depending on where you're from. In California, we have some pretty strict protections for people, and some of those protections include, making sure that the person has breaks and lunches, depending on how long they work, etc. And there are set monetary fines that you can levy if those aren't followed. And it's just going to be hilarious if Chile files a lawsuit. I know he's threatening criminal charges, but the police are going to tell him that it's a civil matter, and because the guy didn't steal anything, he just deleted stuff. He deleted stuff off a website that has a delete button. That I I'm 99% sure the cops are just going to say that it's a civil matter. Go deal with it on your own. And plus, the cops could be like, what jurisdiction has is who has jurisdiction over this? Do we even? I seriously don't think that they're going to do anything. Grand larceny, nice. Well, it's not grand larceny, so you can't. The problem with trying to press charges is that the DA has control over what charges get filed, etc. So yeah, he's been watching too much TV. So yeah, that's not going anywhere. But that's not why you fine folks have filed into the stream to hear me laugh at Chile. That's not why you've done it at all. There were some people who were saying that they didn't know what was going on with with my early morning car stream video, and so those deleted videos were worth millions. Millions? I don't know about that. I mean, proof would be a bitch on that, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? And whoever said, yeah, I feel better. Obviously, I'm not 100% yet, but I am feeling better. Yes. So I went to, because people were asking me about the background of this. I went to Shiz's website, Shiz of Shiz Happens, and I asked Shiz because, like, look how just disgusting this is. There's Shiz's watermark, there's PK watermark, there's Shiz watermark, PK watermark, Shiz watermark, Shiz watermark, Shiz watermark, Shiz watermark, PK watermark. I mean, Christ on a fucking cracker. Like, you would think they had found the fucking new world and they were stamping their flag into it. It's a fucking document. And you know, Shiz gets a lot of shit, and I don't think Shiz deserves quite all of the shit that she gets. Some people think that she's just that, you know, she's just a terrible person. But I'll have you know that she took one for the fucking team when she smashed this fat fucking Irishman. Apparently multiple times. He apparently flew across the country twice. He was almost willing to fight a Massachusetts midget over her love and affection. Almost. That's how good her poon was. I mean, or the fold that he thought was her poon. But anyway, Shiz, that ham beast. I mean, a lot of people think that you know, she's just out there to you know, cling to whatever kind of internet fame that she can get, you know, fucking fat Irishman, and you know, trying to latch on to people with actual charisma. And you know, how many channels has she started, and like co-hosts and whatnot? Is she you're asking me who this particular fine specimen of a man is? That, sir and or madam, that is the man who is so fat that his face outgrew his nose. The man with no nose. Irish motherfucking demon. That is who you were looking at. That is who you're looking at. And yeah, oh boy. But anyway, some would say that she would try to fuck somebody like this just to get a little bit more internet fame, a little bit more pull, a little bit more leverage. But you know what? She's not that kind of person. She is not that kind of person at all, because I asked her, hey, you know what? Can I get a clean copy of this? Because you know, I don't do this. I don't do this for the money. I mean, I have spent money on you know, I have that recap thing on my browser, so that when I buy documents off of Pacer, it automatically populates. Because like, why should everyone have to spend money just because I spent money, you know? And I'm not in it. I don't watermark it. All the documents that I put up in my Discord, I don't watermark them, because that's just a dick move, right? Like, what do you want, a fucking cookie, right? Hey, you know, thanks for buying this. Thanks for fucking buying this document. I appreciate it. And you know what? You donated some of your money to get a document. Great. I'm going to donate my time, and my hourly rate is worth way more than what you spent on this document. You know, so everybody's giving something. And she was kind enough. She was kind of, you know, for all the shit I talk about her being such an enormous fucking land whale with terrible skin and a figure that looks like someone took a bag full of used diapers and shook it really hard to make sure everything kind of settled into a Danny DeVito as the Penguin kind of shape. Even though I think she's a terrible person, she gave it to me a nice clean copy. And you know, so that's really great. You know, that's really great. So everybody go and thank Shiz. Everybody go thank Shiz for her service in this matter, because she needs your attention. She is a fat, ugly, dumpy housewife who doesn't get out much because she doesn't have a lot of money. She doesn't have a job. Her husband isn't, or her ex-husband isn't a wealthy man. I don't think she has a lot of money to play around with. So she doesn't get out to do much. And and so she needs your attention and your support, and she needs you to reach out to her and make her make her feel better as a person, you know, make her feel better. Just, you know, just to know that she's a valuable member of society and that she shouldn't just neck herself. I've sent documents to other people that I paid for it, that they watermarked and posted it's gay. Yes, it is gay. It is fucking gay. All right, so let's go through that. Well, even before we go through the request for reconsideration, let's start here. This is a press release from the Alabama Attorney General. Now, what's kind of weird that I didn't really understand before I made my video this morning, so you'll notice it in the description of the video. I added in, hey, you know, talk to the Attorney General. But the Attorney General has power in Alabama to actually prosecute crimes. The Attorney General can actually file its own charges, which is a new and different thing for me. I'm not used to that, but hey, that's pretty cool. So in this particular instance, the Attorney General filed charges. The Attorney General presented evidence. Excuse me, they didn't file charges. The Attorney General presented evidence to a grand jury, and they returned an indictment. An indictment is like a complaint or a petition. It's a legal document that starts a case. So they returned an indictment that charged Michael Kaiser, with the intentional death of Donald Cameron by shooting him with a firearm, and that Kaiser was unlawfully in Cameron's home with the intent to commit a theft or felony crime. And if convicted, he faces death penalty or life imprisonment without parole. The case was investigated by the Alabama Bureau of Investigation. I think that's not your normal sheriff's department. I'm going to assume that that's their version of like the FBI or something like that, and was being prosecuted by assistant attorneys general. So there were attorney generals, assistant attorney generals that were going to prosecute the case. So this was not being done by a district attorney. Well, I totally would sing. Like I would try to sing that, but my voice and everything is just out right now. But I am happy to be gay. Thank you. If you're going to commit murder, might as well be a capital murder. YOLO. Exactly. All right. So that was the announcement they made. So there was an indictment. The grand jury looked at the evidence that the Attorney General presented that was investigated by the Alabama Bureau of Investigation. The Attorney General presented evidence at that grand jury. The grand jury looked at it, and they returned an indictment. And there was apparently one charge on that indictment. So now, with that kind of background in mind, let's go through and read the clean copy. Thank you very much, Shiz. This is a state's request for reconsideration of order dismissing the case with prejudice. So what that tells you is that there was an order that dismissed the case with prejudice. So we have to figure out why. Okay. So it comes out of the state of Alabama by and through its Attorney General, Luther Strange, and respectfully requests this honorable court to reconsider its order on January 22nd, 2016, dismissing the above style case with prejudice. As grounds for this request, the state avers, that means that they just allege, basically, or state the following. The defendant was charged with a capital offense in the above style cause. That means just he was charged in this case with a capital offense with regard to causing the death of Donald Cameron while in the commission of a burglary. On Wednesday, January 20, 2016, the state filed a motion to dismiss the above case. They filed a motion to dismiss the case. And then there's a footnote. The state titled its motion as one to dismiss. In retrospect, i.e. we fucked up, the appropriate title should have been a motion to nolle prosequi. Our research in this area has been complicated because the terms nolle pros and dismissal are used interchangeably. Although the terms have been used indiscriminately, even by this court, there is a distinction. The entry of a nolle prosequi or a nolle pros in a criminal case is a termination of the particular prosecution for that charge, but it does not bar later proceedings. So it's a dismissal without prejudice. So the state filed a motion to dismiss, which would be with prejudice for the case. The necessity for dismissal became apparent to the state as it was preparing for the February 29, 2016 trial date. So in 1 month, there was going to be a trial, and they looked at their fucking charging document and they were like, oh, fuck. During the course of its preparation, the state became aware that the May 13th, 2013 indictment failed to apprise the defendant of each and every element of the charge of capital murder during the course of burglary in the first or second degree as set forth in 13A-5-40A4. Specifically, the May 13th, 2013 charging document reads, the grand jury of Calhoun County charges that before the finding of this indictment, Michael William Kaiser, whose name is otherwise unknown to the grand jury, meaning that just means that nobody there knew him before this, did without the intent to cause the death of another person, or did with the intent to cause the death of another person, cause the death of Donald A. Cameron by shooting him with a firearm, and the said Michael William Kaiser caused said death during the time he knowingly and unlawfully entered or remained, or attempted to enter or remain unlawfully in a dwelling and home of another, to wit, Donald A. Cameron with the intent to commit a crime therein, to wit, burglary in the second degree by unlawfully entering a lawfully occupied dwelling and home with the intent to commit a theft or felony therein, in violation of 13A-5-40A4 of the Code of Alabama, 1975, against the peace and dignity of the state of Alabama. The indictment should have read, the grand jury of Calhoun County charges that before the finding of this indictment, Michael William Kaiser, whose name is otherwise unknown to the grand jury, did, with the intent to cause the death of another person, cause the death of Donald A. Cameron by shooting him with a firearm. And the said Michael William Kaiser caused said death during the time that he unlawfully entered or attempted to enter unlawfully in a lawfully occupied dwelling house of another, to wit, Donald A. Cameron, with the intent to commit a theft or felony therein, to wit, theft of property in violation of section 13A-5-40A4 of the Code of Alabama against the peace and dignity of the state of California, or state of Alabama. The big differences that I see there are they remove the or remain, or attempted to enter or remain. They removed those. And they added in the language, a little bit of language down at the bottom. The lawfully occupied dwelling house of another, and the other would be Donald Cameron. So he was going to kill Donald Cameron, and he unlawfully entered into the occupied dwelling and home of Donald Cameron. So those are elements that they thought were important. Now, why? Okay, well, let's just continue a little bit further. The state believes the variances created by the May 13th, 2013 were too significant to continue forward under this charging instrument. See Rule 13.5A, Alabama Revised Criminal Alabama Rules of Criminal Procedure. See also Ex parte Lewis, overruled on other grounds by Ex parte Seymour, Alabama, 2006. And Ex parte Seymour. I thought I had that up. I thought I had it up. I did not have it up. And it was language that I was looking for was double jeopardy, I believe. Double. Oh, that's right. It was this one. That's why. Double. I didn't want to add a bookmark. I didn't want to do that. Double. Well, I'm going to show you this instead, because I think this is a lot clearer. This is an older case. This is Bones versus State from 1974. In order to, well, let's take one step back further. All right, we're going to look at this tab instead. All right, so the Alabama Constitution of 1901, Section 6, provides in part that in all criminal prosecutions, the accused has a right to demand the nature and cause of the accusation and have a copy thereof. And you're going to say, why do I care about that? Well, hold on a second. There was a new constitution in 2022 for Alabama, but the same language is in there, that in all criminal prosecutions, the accused has a right to demand the nature and cause of the accusation and have a copy thereof. So it's the same language. So therefore, this case is still going to apply. And there's other progeny of it that go on. And it set out, so in order to be sufficient, in order for the indictment to be sufficient, it has to show the defendant what he should prepare against, to identify the charged offense, so that he may be tried for this, so that he may be tried for the same charge as was laid out before the grand jury. So the charge that he's charged with in court has to be the same one that was laid out and the grand jury found that he was indictable for. And that the judgment to a degree may afford some protection against double jeopardy, and to give the court after conviction means to accept or reject the verdict, pronounce judgment, and pass sentence. So what the court is saying is that the charge has to be the same as the charge that the grand jury indicted him for. And what the charge reads is it doesn't read all the right elements. And so in order to be able to convict him, they need to actually change the language that he's being charged with. In order to be able to convict him of the first or second degree murder of Donald Cameron, they need to change the language that he's being charged with. And so they're like, fuck, because if they push this forward and go through with it, they're going to run into trouble. The verdict might get overturned, or there might be a motion to dismiss based on the issue. And if there's already a jury impaneled, then there's double jeopardy, and it just creates it creates a problem. So the prosecution saw this coming, and they were like, oh shit, we need to dismiss the case. Really what they meant was they should have null pros the case, but they needed to dump it so that they could go back to the grand jury, have the jury indict him with correct charges, and then they can move forward and prosecute him. Where were we? On January 22, 2016, this honorable court dismissed the case with prejudice. The state respectfully requests this honorable court reconsider its order of dismissal with prejudice. The state merely sought to dismiss the current indictment because of a defect in the wording as noted above. The state did not include any facts in its motion to dismiss, and the defendant did not supply the court with any facts regarding the merits of the case. So there was nothing in it. There were no facts that the court might have been relying on besides the motion to dismiss to say, well, this should be done with prejudice. The court was just like, oh, you want to dismiss it? Fine. With prejudice, here you go. And then it goes on to say Black's Law Dictionary defines the phrase with prejudice as loss of all rights in a way that finally disposes of a party's claim and bars any future action on that claim. Black's defines dismissal with prejudice as a dismissal, usually after adjudication on the merits, barring the plaintiff from prosecuting any later lawsuit in the same claim. If after dismissal with prejudice, the plaintiff files a later suit on the same claim, the defendant in the later suit can assert a defense of res judicata, claim preclusion. While the state recognizes the court is the final authority with respect to the ultimate disposition of a case, it respectfully asks for reconsideration and modification of the court's order to a nulla prosecci, or dismissal without prejudice, due to the nature of this case and the impact dismissal with prejudice will have on the state's ability to seek justice in this matter. And then according to the wonderful research of our heroine Shiz, the court granted the motion. It was changed to without prejudice, and that freed up the state to be able to get a new grand jury to indict him. So that's the impetus for my my video this morning. It's to inform people that it's most likely just a matter of new attorney general, new change in the prosecuting authority. Things get dropped in the cracks. New cases come in. those cases have a fire lit under them, as there is a time frame to take the case to trial. You have a right to a speedy trial. And there you go. All right, so I got through this fairly quick. So that was the end of the substantive portion, just unless someone else comes in and says something that needs some further clarification. And we're talking about chili back in here, and so that's what all these are. And then we are lavishing praise on Shiz at this portion, because Shiz is a lot of woman. Is a lot of woman. And I guess we're talking about Irish Demon a little bit too. Well, here's the thing. Be fucking careful, because Chile could be using this to generate the Donald Trump effect. What is it? No press is bad press, but any press is good press. And what's that guy gonna tell you that you don't already know about Chile? Was it really Chaos Warden? Wow, you suss that out? Oh, Chaos Warden, you are a genius, sir, and or madam. No watermark. Yep. But see, you know what, Michelle, you're not a cunt. That's why you didn't watermark the stuff. And are we getting close to where we started? You're welcome for my cervix, by the way, Dr. Cock McLungerballs. I'm just glad you could reach it, big boy. And thank you, Surrender Monkey. And we got to the sing if you're going to be gay. And the YOLO, what's up, Staff Sergeant Kaiser? Wouldn't it be a robbery, a burglar? The classic definition of a burglary is the breaking and entering at night into the dwelling house of another with the intent to commit a felony therein. That is from law school. That's been hammered into me. It appears that that Alabama uses something very similar to the general common law definition of burglary. Robbery would be something that doesn't require you to break and enter into someone's home. Now, a lot of states have expanded the definition of burglary, so maybe it's just to commit a misdemeanor inside, or maybe you could also burgle a warehouse, not just someone's residence. But no, it would be a burglary. Attorney General Luther Strange, Lawyer Supreme. Okay. We're almost 69ing. Nice. Burb running that ball washer. Hell yeah, brother. Nasty Nate says, how you doing? I'm watching your stream while on the bus going to work. Well, enjoy work, sir, if that is a thing that you can do. For everybody who says that all these auditors are just in it for the money, well, my boy Nate going to work. Verb es un cabrón de gallinas. I'm a cock, I guess. And hi, Nasty. See more butts. Howdy. Back off, Nasty. That's my bitch. Ooh, ouch. Just kidding. Still want to get margaritas with you sometime. All right. Once the motion was granted to reverse the with prejudice decision, why do you think they didn't refile charges? Probably because it got lost in the cracks. When was this? This was filed in 2016. 2016 was probably an election year. It was probably an election year. I say knowing it was an election year. And Luther Strange, Alabama Attorney General. Luther Strange. Oh, want to shall this tab instead. So he was only Attorney General through February 9th of 2017. And you're like, well, he had like a year. He had a year. And that's not a long time in the law. That's not a long time to impanel a jury, get everything done. Clear up the time to do it. Have the jury impaneled, present your thing, yada yada. It's not a long time. That's one word for it. That's one word for it. She is a woman. So Nasty Nate likes to say things like Kate is beautiful. He doesn't say that about Shiz. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. Salty in Florida says he and his attorney had to think there was a mistake, right? He and his attorney had to think there was a mistake, right? I'm going to assume that you mean that Kaiser and his attorney had to think there was a mistake. Not necessarily. I mean, fucking take the win you get and you run with it. Why are your chickens so quiet when Shiz is mentioned? She's more into apps than proteins, I think. She's more into fatty, carby food. No offense to her. I mean, it's delicious stuff, right? How many times did she talk about apps and all those live streams where her and Kate would walk around? And notice everybody wanted to see Kate because Kate had those tiggle bitties. Oof, Kate's sexy in a dirty way that I like a lot. Bad press is good press. That is the Trump thing, right? He likes butt stuff. Who doesn't? Mer be nice. I don't ever. Hopefully they will get the indictment. Hopefully they will. Hopefully they. Well, if they don't get it, I hope they don't get it for all the right reasons. I hope it's not we're just too fucking lazy to get it. I hope it's, you know what? We really ought to fucking get going on this. Let's get it. And then if the grand jury comes back and says, we don't think he did it, well then fine. Okay, fine. But I hope they don't just like drop the ball and leave it dropped. Chaos Warren says FW broke into the vet's home because he was trying to steal drugs, right? Well, maybe he was trying to steal a Colt AR-15. AR stands for Advanced Assault Rifle. No, it doesn't. I know. I'm joking. You're welcome for the explanation. Margaritas, let's do it. Go to work, Nasty Nate. Frank says, should Kaiser be worried? Well, yeah. It's hard to, it's been what? It's 2016, so 7 years, almost 8 years now. At a certain point in time, you kind of normalize. But if you internet assholes actually go and do the thing that you should do, this isn't a call brigade. This is a hey, government, do your fucking job. Do your fucking job. There was an indictment. You said you fucked up the indictment. You said you said you wanted the case without prejudice, so nolle pros, so that you could refile charges. If that's the fucking case, do your goddamn job. Do what we pay you to do. One of the top jobs of the criminal justice system should be to get murderers, right? That should be one of their top jobs. I finally gave in to all this washlet bidet madness, and it's just not working for me. Well, don't drink out of it, and it'll probably be better for you. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.